which helps me say no to things, you know. But what I learned around the fire the most was the teachings and listening. Because as a Scout, my responsibility is to listen and to learn. You know. And then another responsibility that a Scout has is to not only listen and learn, but to preserve those teachings and to pass them on to the people. You know, we got to preserve our ways. And the one story I heard about kindness goes back to the creation story, where the first man, I'll just call him Nanabush. I like that one. You know. So Nanabush was the first man on earth, and so he was tasked with naming all the plants and all the animals. And when he finished that, he went to Creator and said, "I'm done. I named every animal, I named every plant." He said, "But along the way, when I was naming the animals, I see they come in pairs." He said that, how come there's nobody like me? I traveled all of Mother Earth and I didn't see anybody like me. And so Creator said, "Well, there's nobody like you right now. Young man, you gotta, continue doing the work I'm instructing you to do." But Nanabush was really, 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 he had this yearn for companionship. He wanted what he saw the other animals had, was companionship in their lives. So he asked Creator, "Can you send me a companion, please?" And Creator was quiet. And Creator then said, "I will send you a companion, but not one of your own." So the companion that Creator sent to Nanabush was the mine gun. And so Nanabush and mine gun, they became inseparable. They became like brothers. They were like so close. They explored Mother Earth, ran together, walked together, howled together. And they explored everywhere. But as Nanabush was hanging around with his brother, Mine Gun met a partner, a mate, a companion. And Nanabush got to see what was going on with Mine Gun and his partner and their little cubs and how they ran their pack. And little did he know, he was learning lessons on how to run a community, how to run a family, how to treat your elders, how to treat the young ones. That everybody has a place in community and family. Everybody has a role. So he went back to Creator and he said, I really, really want what mine that has, my brother. I want my own children, I want my own family. But that's when Creator told him, "Yeah, that's why I sent you with Mine Gun, for you to observe him, to watch how he runs his family, runs his pack, how he treats his partner, how he treats his elders, how he treats his children. And I will send you your companion, Nanabush." So anyway, but he said, "If I do send you your companion, Nanabush, I'm going to have to sever this relationship with you and Mine Gun, your brother. No longer will you guys be companions. No longer will you guys ever walk together in life." Nanabush agreed. So from that day on, Mine Gun and Nanabush and man were never ever close like brothers again. But one thing Creator said is that you guys will fear each other, you guys will misunderstand each other, you guys will be displaced. People are not going to like you guys. So if you think about how the wolf has been treated, they've been hunted almost to existence, they've been thrown off their territories, put other places, because people don't want them there. If you think about the Anishinaabem's plight, it's the same. They fear us, they misunderstand us, you're in our way, we're going to put you on a reserve. Right? So it's lessons that we get through teachings. But it was only that, so when Creator went back to Nanabush and he said, "Okay, here we go. I'm not gonna, you have to go seek out your mate. You have to go seek out your partner. I'm not just gonna send her to you. You know? So Nanabush went back to his grandmother's lodge. But again, you know, he had a conversation with his grandmother about like where he came from. Where do I come from? Who's my mother? Where's my father? How come I've never seen him? His grandmother was very quiet and didn't want to say anything, but, you know, Nanabush said, come on, Gookum, tell me where my father is. And she said, somewhere in the west. So Nanabush got up and he started walking west. As he started walking west, he started hearing this noise in the sky. He would ignore it, and then he kept walking west, but as the more further he walked west, the louder the sound got. And it got so loud he couldn't ignore it anymore. He looked up in the sky and the noise was coming from the east. So he said, well, I better go check. I'm so curious now, what's that noise? And the noise was like a shaker. So he started walking west. And he started walking east, and kept walking and walking. Eventually he came onto this lodge. And then there was this lodge, it was a firekeeper's lodge. And it was the firekeeper in the east. And he came up to that lodge and then he went into the entrance and the firekeeper invited him inside. He said, come in, I've been waiting for you. And when Nanabush went inside, he went and sat down with the firekeeper. And so when he sat down with the firekeeper, Nanabush saw something he never saw before. He saw fire. Because the firekeeper was sitting beside this fire, and Nanabush said, what is that? It feels so warm, it's hot, and burning. So the firekeeper gave him all his knowledge on fire. Taught him everything about fire. So Nanabush was so grateful, and he sat there for days and days. And when I say days and days, that could be years, it could be 1,000 years, it could be 100 years. You know, this is legend. You know? So then when Nanabush got all the fire teachings, he went back to his grandmother's lodge and he showed his grandmother what he had learned. And they were so grateful for all the teachings. And you know, so Nanabush was so happy that he went back to the east to go thank the firekeeper in the east for the teachings and for fire. But when he went back this time, there was a lady in the lodge with the firekeeper, and it was his daughter. And it was his daughter, Morningstar. When Nanabush saw her, he was like, wow, is she ever beautiful? She's so beautiful. He just fell right in love with her. And when you think about Morningstar and you think about the east and you think about before the sun rises, you'll always see her in the morning before the sun rises. And it's just, you know, dawn out before it, and the sky's just a little pink. You know, you always see her shining bright up there. So Nanabush sat down in the lodge. He thanked the firekeeper, but he kept looking at Morningstar. And he said, you know what? He asked the firekeeper, can I marry your daughter, please? The firekeeper agreed. So Morningstar and Nanabush got married. And after they got married, they made their own lodge. They made their own little lodge out in the land. And then they had 4 sons. And when their first son was named Tobacco. Their second son was named Cedar. Their third son was Sage. Their last son was Sweetgrass. And again, these boys, they're all rambunctious. They're just like Nanabush when they were little blue boys. They ran all over, they explored, they played tricks on animals. They talked to animals. They talked to trees. They talked to the plants. And they lived, but just like Nanabush when he was a teenager, these boys, they had a yearn to go further. They had a purpose. They felt like they had a purpose.